Can Newcastle make Europe? Gary O'Neill remains unbeaten, and more struggles for Liverpool.
Evening, Tate.
How are we, Jack? You all good?
Yep, all good. Welcome back. Here's episode 13.
Who would have thought it? 13 episodes come around quick.
Yeah, it's flown by, hasn't it? I was actually saying to my dad earlier on that, like, we're here now, it's pitch black outside, it's cold, and we started this, and I was topless, I think, for the first time. So, yeah, I'm freezing, but
We're topless, 10 yards away from the mic.
Didn't know what was going on.
Mic weren't plugged in.
Yeah, and now we're here, 13. So, yeah, how are you doing? Had a good weekend, I think.
A very good weekend, yeah. Yeah, good Saturday, and Sunday, trip down the Emirates.
Yeah.
Can't complain result, and I'm sure we'll get onto that.
Yeah, it was good, wasn't it? Very good result for the Gooners.
Yeah, lovely. Another good weekend of football. And before we dive into all that, we'll start off with a trivia. As the title says, record-breaking Ronaldo. So the question is about CR700.
700.
As you would have seen, Ronaldo scored his 700th league goal at the weekend. But which team has he scored the most goals against?
Oh, against. Okay. In general, I assume.
Yeah, so a 700 like club goal, yes. So
Okay.
which clubs he scored the most goals against?
Alright.
And that's obviously that's a caveat. It could be for against
Different.
Yeah,
it
it's
could
not
be any league.
not because he's in the yeah
Yeah. All right. Cool.
any team
No problem.
any team he's played for. Right, let's dive into the action then. And shall we start with the Saturday games and up the tune?
Yep. The mighty Newcastle.
We'll start with the tune.
Thumped Brentford, didn't they?
Back-to-back thumpings they've had. Or back-to-back big wins for Newcastle. It was Newcastle's biggest home Premier League win since 2016.
Yeah. 5-1. It's good. I mean, Brentford. I saw someone said that they had 6 goal involvements today, but lost 5-1. It probably is right. They were awful. I mean, they gifted 2 goals away to them. And Bruno.
3 if you include the own goal.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Yeah, they were very poor day for them. But yeah, I'm not going to attempt his surname, but Bruno was very good, wasn't he? 2 goals.
Grimares.
Yeah.
Grimares. Before we get on to that though, Newcastle's biggest home win since 2016. Do you know who their last time they won 5-1 at home was?
I think I was there. The only time I've been to Newcastle and the only time I'll ever go to Newcastle. And it was the last game of the season, Spurs. I'm pretty sure. Was it the year we thought we could win the league, but obviously it ended up being
Leicester's year.
And being nowhere near it. And Arsenal won that day and finished above us.
Yeah.
It was a poor day. And Townsend scored, I think.
Townsend scored, and I think Sissoko
he was
might have got a hat trick,
or
Ronaldo got a hat trick.
He was definitely playing. I think he played right midfield for them. But yeah, no, actually, funny enough, I remember that day quite well and the weekend. But yeah, what a shocker, typical Spurs. But yeah, 5-1 Newcastle. Sure, they're very, very happy.
Yeah, like I said, they absolutely gifted 2 goals away. Raya in the defence, but have an absolute stinker, playing out from the back, getting caught twice. I think it was the second goal and Almiron's goal. Oh my God, it's just horrific.
There's no excuse for it. No excuse.
You train all week and then you just have an absolute horror show at the back.
We spoke about it before, but like I've said it many a time. But your goalies they're not football players. They're goalies for a reason. They're brilliant in goal. They're brilliant at making saves, coming and collecting the ball, being big and strong. They're not there to get the ball and play it from the back and give it to your centre. Oh, yes, it all looks pretty and everyone likes. We love playing and talking about that great football. But sometimes Brentford, they're 1-0 down, 2-0 down already. Just lump the ball long, like get up the pitch, just start again. It's so frustrating.
I mean, especially like you mentioned there, especially when you're Brentford. Like if you're Man City and you're passing to John Stones or Diaz
totally
or
different.
Laporte of your Man City or your Liverpool
Even
with Van
Arsenal,
Dijk.
Tottenham when
they've got good quality. But when you're passing to Ethan Pinnock and what's his name? Who's the big tall Swedish guy or Norway guy, Danish guy?
Yes, Pontus Jansson, Pontus Jansson, and they're just. You just think like even whoever it's come from, the manager or the players, like you're losing the game. It's in a tough stadium at Newcastle. A really good team in a minute. Just right, we're losing. Let's get back in the game. We're just going to go direct and we're going to play from there instead of pissing around with it basically at the back. It's just it's so annoying.
It's Brentford's heaviest ever Premier League defeat. It was.
Yeah, I saw that. I think they lost 4-1 last year, wasn't it, in their first season? And 5-1 at the weekend. So.
And it's the first time Newcastle have scored 4+ goals in consecutive Premier League matches for the first time since September 2001. So, what's that, 19 years ago?
Yeah.
When they were actually part of a pretty decent team
Pretty
then.
good side.
And they're slowly getting into this season. They started off... overall, they've done all right, but they started off with a win, and then they had,
They've had a lot
five draws.
Yeah. They've had a lot of draws, and they've only lost once, which is against Liverpool away. And yes, Liverpool are up and down and don't know what's going on with them, but
And
on paper, you'd say Liverpool away, that's okay. Like we'll lose that with Newcastle, we'll accept that. So no, they've started pretty well.
Yeah, in that game, I think they went 1-0 up, and then they went 2-0 up.
Yeah, they looked.
It was one of the games they went 2-0 up, but lost 2-1, didn't they?
Because
of VAR.
Yeah, they've started very well. Started really well. And yeah, I just think maybe they're sort of slowly finding their feet and figuring out what's good and what's working for them. And Brentford got a big old slapping. And received the full force of Eddie Howe.
I mean, as the intro said, can Newcastle make Europe?
I said it. I think I've mentioned it in our first one that they're I think they were big outsiders.
Was that one of your shouts for the season?
I said top 6.
Something like that.
Yeah, they've got the financial backing. Yes, they haven't gone outrageous and spent hundreds of millions on top players, but if they want to, they can go and do that. And Eddie Howe last season towards the end sort of improved them quite dramatically, and they got some good players. I thought they might sneak in there, and the minute they're right up there, aren't they? So
yeah, because the minute they sit in 6th, unbeaten in 5 with only 1 loss this season, like I said, against Liverpool. And like I said, they haven't gone out and done a Man City, or when they've just went and bought a Robinho or a superstar like that. They've done it quite slowly, quite carefully.
Some good players, though. Got Trippier, got Pope in goal now. Like St. Maximin going forward. The Bruno in the middle is improving all the time. So they've got some good players without even, like you're saying, going out and splashing the cash. So
I think a very underrated player is Dan Burn as well.
Yeah, and there's a shout of now all of a sudden him for England. So you never know what could happen.
I'd rather him than Mings, like we're talking about. Mings or even Cody.
He's left-sided. A left-sided centre half. He's got to be our best option as an English player. Yes, you can play right-foot players there, and he probably won't go. But as a left-footed centre-back, he's got to be the best English left-footed centre-back we've got.
He plays in the 2 as well.
Exactly.
Like he plays in the 2 week in and week out. Like he can do a job there.
Yeah.
We'll go back to signings. I think that Trippier was their first marquee signing. I think he's really set the tone for what that club is going to go forward. He's a professional,
a top
experienced
European
player,
footballer as well. Yeah,
had a good career. He came from just winning the La Liga at Atletico.
Yeah.
Like I said, they haven't gone out and done a silly Robinho signing or every player they've seemed to have signed is. I say it sounds silly, but he's an Eddie Howe signing. Yeah,
they're better than what they had, but they're a lot better than teams around them. So like Villa and West Ham and those sort of sides that are similar in recent years, but they've improved slightly. And I know they took Chris Wood at the start, and he's a pretty average player, but at the time he was rivals. Then Burnley were a similar side, so they took their best player from that side and weakened them and improved Newcastle. And I think they're going about it, if you can, the right way. They're slowly, little by little, improving, and I think their ultimate aim is to challenge Champions League and win the league. But I think what they're doing at the minute is working quite well. Yeah,
because like I said, Eddie Howe has now won 16 of his last 36 games in charge of Newcastle.
Yeah.
But I think his most impressive thing since he's been there is how he's improved the players that were already there.
Yeah,
so someone like
so good. That's
Almiron,
very good point. Yeah,
absolutely reborn this season.
And Joe Linton.
Yeah,
Joe Linton came and was under Steve Bruce. Everyone thought, who is this donkey?
Was a number 9, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was awful. He scored his first goal against Spurs, but he was an absolute donkey. But now, he's a totally different player.
I think I said at the beginning of the season, the first pod about Joe Linton, I was like, maybe I'll take him at Arsenal. The performances he put in at the back end of last year, he looks a changed player.
Yeah.
But Almiron, for example, has scored 4 goals in his last 9 games this season, and previously he'd netted 9 in his last 110 Premier League games.
Mm-hmm.
So he's already equaled. He's doubled his Newcastle tally.
Yeah.
In literally.
And if Steve Bruce was still there, he'd be like, right, I need to get rid of Almiron, I need to get rid of Joe Linton and all these players. But they've changed manager, and he's turned things, or is turning things around. And these players, like you're saying, are slowly showing that they actually are half decent players.
So speaking of Steve Bruce. The takeover was on the 7th of October 2021, so just over a year ago it was. Steve Bruce, obviously the manager at the time. 14 days later, he was sacked. that's what they needed to get rid of him straight away. They're going nowhere. If
whoever took over Newcastle Steve Bruce had to go.
And ironically enough, Eddie Howe wasn't the first choice. It was. Do you remember?
Yeah,
it was Unai Emery.
Yeah, it was your mate.
It was my mate.
Yeah.
My mate Dracula.
And at that moment, if you were Newcastle, you probably think fair enough. Like on record and his European record is hard. He was pretty poor at Arsenal, and you dislike him a lot, but on paper you think, that's an improvement on Steve Bruce, and maybe they're fortunate they didn't get him in the end and end up with Eddie Howe.
The thing with Emery, I think though, if he had taken over back in, was it just January? Was it? No, it was maybe end of November when he took over.
It was like sort of this time last year.
I think he would have gone straight for La Liga players, bigger name European players, maybe. I don't know, like Europa League standing out in Spain or Italy. He wouldn't have gone for the tried and trusted Premier League ones like
Howe's almost
like Howe went for. Your Trippiers, like you said, your Woods, your Dan Burns.
Yeah, even Nick Pope in goal
even Nick Pope, for example, Yeah.
No, I agree. Emery would have probably thought, right, I've got all this money in the world. I've got to now. They want success, right? I need to go and get the best players I can. But Eddie Howe hasn't gone with that sort of route, and it's slowly paying off, I think. And I've just got here that Newcastle got the best defence in the league alongside City, conceded only 9 goals.
Bloody hell.
Well, City and Brighton, I think, and Newcastle have all conceded 9 goals, so they're obviously solid defensively, right? They need to figure out how to score more, but at the weekend they found that method. So I think now Newcastle away, it was getting that way towards the end of last season. Obviously, Arsenal was a prime example of that, but I just think now you think, oh bloody hell, Newcastle away, that's a tough game now, and at home now that's Newcastle is a tough fixture. You've got a massive footballing City that absolutely adore that club. Slowly but surely they're getting back to what they were like, sort of late 90s and early 2000s. So it's definitely a really really tough fixture.
I mean, going back 12 months, see how much they've grown. Shortly after Bruce was sacked, he signed an 18-month contract with West Brom, who at the time was 6th in the Championship, and he left his role 8 months later, which was earlier this week. With the team in 22nd in the division. It's their lowest league position they've had in more than 20 years.
I've seen some things of Steve Bruce, but he's just a dinosaur anyway. But
he's one of the old boys that just
he's had his moment.
Go to Barbados, mate. Go to Benidorm. Get your nice pink belly.
Take your son with you. You've done your bit. Just
put your feet up, boys.
Of the fans like getting onto him when they get on the bus and all that. It's just you like you said, you have worked to the top level for almost seems like your lifetime. You've done your bit. Just it's time to move on.
So I can't remember the exact stat about Steve Bruce, but ever since his debut, whenever that was back in like the 1800s,
they did play for United.
His playing debut, like his actual first team debut, he's been involved in a league every single year since.
Bloody
Not even when he retired, because he retired as caretaker or like a player assistant, and went straight into them being the manager, and then just had a job every single year.
And like Warnock, he's done it recently. He came to a point where it was like, right, this is enough now. And Steve Bruce at that point, I think
Warnock got the idea for that podcast after I emailed him. He never responded back to me. I wanted to come on the invite, and then
all those that listen to us don't go and listen to Warnock. He's got nothing good to say.
But Newcastle, their last trophy was 1955 FA Cup. Well, I did a bit of research, and Newcastle fans listening, correct me if I'm wrong. I haven't accounted for your Championship A that didn't count, and the European Cups they've won, the Intertotos and the whatever the other ones they've won, that doesn't count. If it's not the UEFA League, the UEFA Cup, or the Europa League, or I'm not counting it. But 1955 last FA Cup. They need to win something, don't they?
They do,
but then it's hard. But then every team needs to win something.
Yeah, exactly. And you could argue that all teams, we all want to win something. Loads of people, Tottenham needs to win something. Newcastle, Everton, like all these sort of big established clubs. But I was quite surprised at that. The Newcastle lack of trophies. The way they go on, bloody hell, you'd think they'd won something every other year.
Well, but like your mates down the road as well.
We'll get on to them.
No, but it's like what we said off air earlier. In our lifetime, following football, they haven't been this big club before our time, like you said, in the early 90s, they were this entertaining brand of
Yeah.
Kevin Keegan football that finished second,
Yeah.
third.
I think the year I was born was their best season. I think they were second or third.
Yeah, when they
98.
when they had the good team, the exciting team that should have
Yeah.
won a Premier League at some stage.
Yeah.
But since we've been around following football, they've been relegated twice, three
Yeah,
times.
and when they've been, I think the highest they've finished in my lifetime, but they were finished fifth. I was too young, but like recent times, I think like whatever.
I think they finished sixth or fifth
Yeah.
one. You know, the old Denver
Oh,
Bar.
Pardew, true, yeah,
Yeah.
Pardew, yeah.
That was an ultimate streets one for
Yeah.
Pardew,
that is
Ben
probably-
Arthur,
Yeah, true.
Cisse,
Oh,
Czech Chiota, rest in peace his soul.
yeah, they were Colaccini at the back.
Colaccini. It was
Yeah.
that bold winger they had.
Overton,
Overton.
Gary Overton from United.
They
Yeah.
had some other ballers as well. I remember who was pretty decent. They still had Phil. Was it Phil Drummond? Phil. The left back. They're still there now. Drummond.
Oh, Paul Drummond.
Paul Drummond.
Paul Dummett.
Yeah, that's
Paul
the one.
Dummett, Yeah.
Danny Simpson right back, and the
Yeah.
goalie was. Weren't given back then, was
No,
it? It was
Steve-
Tim
was it Steve-
Krul.
Tim Krul.
Tim Krul,
Steve,
yeah.
Was it Steve Harper as well?
Steve Harper, yeah.
That is loads. We can go on, but all I'm saying is that Newcastle in our recent lifetime and from memory they're pretty average, like mid-table, sort of 10 to 12, getting relegated every sort of few seasons. They're just pretty poor side, but I think now modern day the best way is, or the most probably the easiest and quickest way is to get a massive investment, and that's what Newcastle got now. So I think they'll slowly get there.
Yeah, they obviously the Saudi consortium bought them for £300 million last year. But back in 2015, they're the 17th highest revenue-producing club in the world, generating 169 million euros. So there's obviously they're a big club,
Yeah.
and by that status, it says the 17th highest biggest club in the world in terms of revenue produced, because they've got massive. What's it, 52,000 seat stadium?
They are world known, aren't they? People are all over the place.
A sleeping giant, gets thrown around a lot with Leeds and like that, and things like that. But there's potential there. Unfortunately, for probably clubs like Arsenal and Spurs that can't compete with when they do become this juggernaut.
Yeah, they'll leapfrog us into top 3, top 4 side. So yes, it's difficult, but good result for Newcastle, 5-1, and I think they're on the up.
Yeah, so moving on from them, should we move on to the
we're going to the big game of the weekend, wouldn't it, really?
Yeah, the main game at the weekend, the game at the Emirates, Arsenal versus Liverpool. So it's my back at the Emirates again. Cracking atmosphere.
Is that another home? Have you played 9 at home, or it feels like every game?
behave.
Feels like every game's been at home.
Every win is at home. 9 games, I think 5 have been at home.
Yeah, I don't know. But you have lost one, and that was away at the worst team in the league, or
United. Wow, don't get me wrong. It hurts me just to talk about that game. But that game brings a point. What I'm going to bring up now. Obviously, Arsenal scored within, I think it was 58 seconds. Mm-hmm. Martinelli set us way on our way. But that goes back to the Old Trafford game. If we go 1-0 up in that game and that goal he scores doesn't get disallowed, and I'm harping on it again, that result is completely different. But moving on. What a start. The atmosphere was electric going into the game, and then after 58 seconds to score against Liverpool, our place was going absolutely nuts.
Yeah, booting right off.
And it was unbelievable.
What end was you? You were
the other end, yeah.
Opposite end to that goal.
Yeah, I was the one that the penalty was behind.
Yeah.
But no, I went absolutely nuts after 58 seconds. Yeah. Great goal, and then once the goal goes in, it's just going back to the old VAR check. What is going on?
I mean, it can't have been offside, but from what you saw on telly, you saw like a flash in, like freeze frame of the offside, and then suddenly they were playing football again, which is absolutely fine if it's the right decision. But what we're used to, or what we've become used to, is seeing it, all the lines come out, all the talk, all the time wasting, blah blah, and then it comes to a decision. But then it seemed like that one, oh no, Saka's fine.
So
it's just
I read something, because when we were watching it live in the game, obviously when you're in the ground, they show you absolutely nothing what's going on. Yeah. Martinelli, he literally ran off the back of Trent. There's no way he can be offside, and then it says checking offside Saka. I'm like, Saka.
Yeah.
When was he offside? But then what I've seen the replay since I've been back, and reading an article today, apparently, the reason they didn't put any lines in there because there wasn't a camera angle available that showed Ben White passing the ball to Saka.
Oh my God.
So that's why they couldn't draw any lines, because apparently there's an article going around. It was at Anfield News.
So what were we watching then on telly? That just wasn't a real, image.
It was an image, but they have not a camera angle to show, because obviously that would. I'm trying to show it to Jack in paper, but they were playing it that way, and there was no camera angle
of it.
Like
horizontally. Different angles to look at it almost, but to me, I'll say it, it's your Spurs, but to me it looked like Saka's leg was hanging out and he looked offside. I know he probably wasn't, whatever, but it seemed such a quick decision to make at such a important moment that
I tell you, it didn't seem quick at the Emirates.
No, well, on TV he literally scored, celebrated, and then there was obviously a bit of delay, and then saw the flash, like the freeze frame, and suddenly it was a goal, and it just seemed typical, like, oh, here we go, like Arsenal won up within, like you said, a minute. It's just
mate, it was nuts. We just couldn't believe what we were seeing.
Yeah, and it was brilliant, like brilliant goal, like you can't take anything away from it, but the offside again, it's just another refereeing mishap that will there's another.
I don't know how true the article is. Like, it was from the Liverpool press that released it. Like, I'm taking it a pinch of salt, but it did seem weird to me that there was no lines drawn against Saka's leg. Like, why would that not happen? But
on that, so you scored within a minute, or it says a minute, whatever it was. So out of your 6 games out of 9 this season, you've scored inside the 20 minutes, and Leicester at home you scored in the 23rd minute. So I'll count that as well.
And you count the Man United goal as well.
Oh yeah, if you want. But 6 out of 9 you've scored within 20 minutes, and out of those 6 you've won convincingly as well. Those are the games you score within that first 20 minutes. The other team don't know what's going on, and you won the game convincingly. The others, you won. You beat Villa at home and Fulham at home. You didn't score within the first 20, and they were. You didn't. I wouldn't say you struggled against them. You battered Villa, but it was a much closer game, and it was a much tougher game. So that Arsenal in the first 20, lethal.
Well, we started off, like I said, with like a house on fire, but slowly it was the player I was really, really impressed with was Thiago. In that first 35, 40 minutes, got the ball down, just dictated it. Everything went for him. Because after we scored, we sort of backed off him a bit, and Liverpool got into it a bit. They had a chance with Nunez, and then Ramsdale parried it back into the danger zone. And then the goal came from Trent. Trent ball over the top. Which Gabriel didn't deal with.
Another mishap really. Just didn't. I think he went for confusion. Then he decided to go for it, and it was too late.
Then obviously him and Saliba have switched.
It was
and
just a bit of a mess.
Diaz is so bloody quick. He ain't getting there. Pings a lovely ball across, and Darwin slots it home. Good little finish.
Yeah. Some celebration as well.
Celebration they call it. That did really rile up the fans.
Yeah, I bet they were fuming.
And going on from the Emirates this season, the atmosphere of that ground has just been even when we concede, it's like we've scored. Yeah. Literally after like 10 seconds, they roar up and they go again. It's like, because we've watched it this year, we're like, we can beat them. Let's go again. Yeah. I know we conceded the same against Spurs. Well, let's go again.
Yeah. No, let's go again. The atmosphere at the minute at the Emirates has totally changed, and yes, that's to do with your supporters have made a conscious effort, but you are playing well, you're winning games, so it's going to be good, or it should be good. And
it's since COVID really, because obviously they had a lot of season ticket holders giving up their pass because of COVID.
Yeah.
People don't want to go anymore, and there's also, we've been at the Emirates now since 2006, which is, my maths is bad. What's that? 16 years, something like that. Just say 16 to 18 years. 16 to 18 years. You've now got a whole bunch of 16 to 18-year-olds who know nothing about Highbury, know nothing about the Invincibles, know nothing about when we were quote-unquote good.
Yeah.
This is their team.
Yeah.
And these are the ones that making the noise and are starting up the atmosphere again. So
I mean, was it Ashburton and Army in Black? I mean, that is god-awful, and they all need to be burnt at the stake, but...
You are ultras alone.
Yeah, it is ultimate embarrassment, but... Yeah, like you said, they've started something, and it's sort of.
I mean, that end is the family end. So they're all 16.
Yeah,
they're all 16, which is lads will be lads. Let them drink their prime.
Yeah,
because they can't drink beer, and the only place you can get prime is Asda or Emirates Stadium.
Yeah. No, it is awful and very, very embarrassing.
Shout out Prime, you want to sponsor the pod?
Yeah, KSI. Logan Paul, if you listen.
Jake Paul, I'll call you up.
Yeah. Your team, Liverpool, lost at the weekend, Jake. But the atmosphere has made a big difference, definitely.
So after Nunez scored, I was saying to my mate Max, who I went with the game with, gets into half time because we were on the ropes. There was a bit when I think what's his name, Diaz had a cross, and Saliba turned it into his own net. There was a smart little save by Ramsdale.
Oh yeah, he ran. Yeah, I remember that.
We just didn't get really into the game after we scored. It was couldn't spring some passes together. Party made a couple of sloppy ones, and then Liverpool had a free kick midway inside our half on the 45th plus 5 minutes. Because there were a few stoppages. Because obviously there was one Trent issue when Martinelli crossed it and his follow through went onto his ankle.
Yeah, no,
which people were saying, "Oh, the screenshot looks horrendous." But
yeah,
come on, if you watch football,
a bit of context and you actually no,
he's crossed. There's no malice in that whatsoever.
No, it's not. It's nothing. It's nothing. And obviously, a lot of Tottenham fans, for example, like, "Oh, it's going to be red card." No, it's just not a red card. It looks awful and it's unfortunate for Trent, and it's disappointing he's injured, but no, it's just.
But like we said, football isn't played in screenshots; it's played real time. And you've got also Diaz, which I did think helped Arsenal a lot.
When he came
off, but he was replaced by Firmino, who I did message your brother earlier in the day. I was like, Firmino scored more goals against Arsenal than any other team. He's definitely scoring.
17 appearances, 10 goals for Arsenal.
Yeah.
Pretty mad, isn't it?
And it was Shimikas who had the cross, the free kick, crossed it in. I think Partey headed it out, and then bang, Arsenal straight away. Jesus made a 50-50 with Thiago, won it, played through Martinelli, and then he just tore past Henderson and Trent.
Yeah, they were so open, weren't they? Again,
sent him for a hot dog.
Just constantly, like when Arsenal were attacking or countering, Liverpool back four and their midfield just chasing tails. Like they were just running, facing their own goal and thinking, "Sod this!" Like, they spent the whole first half when they didn't have the ball just constantly running backwards and back, and that's never good. No matter who you are, Liverpool or Wigan or whoever, that's never good.
And I didn't realise that at the time it was Gabriel making a lung bursting run through the middle. He slotted it through. Gabriel jumps over the ball and then Saka scoops it home at the back. He sort of slides and kicks it in off his studs and goes in. Yeah. God's child gets his second goal of the season and caps off scoring against the Big Six. Scored a goal against every team in the Big Six now.
He scored 3 this year and 2 Liverpool, one obviously when he lost United. So.
But just touching on Liverpool quickly, Liverpool have conceded the first goal in 10 of their last 12 Premier League matches.
Bloody hell. Their worst start for 10 years.
That's a stat going back last season as well.
Yeah.
Like it's quite an alarming thing they're doing.
Not good. We'll get on to Liverpool, but I will mention, wasn't the Gabriel handball in the first half?
Yes. Well, the ball to hand.
Yes. The ball to hand.
The ball to hand. Oh, come on.
No. So Dan Burn at Newcastle, handball.
Because he's flailing arms all over the place.
Right. Where was Gabriel's arm then?
It came off his chest.
Where was his arm?
By his side.
By his side? No.
So I've got a story about this actually. So at the time it happened, because I was literally about 5 rows behind it.
Yeah.
Jota comes steaming past, smashes at him from a yard, and Gabriel does his classic came off the chest, and I'm thinking, whatever, it's just a throw in.
Yeah.
And Mark Oliver puts his thing to his ear and blah blah blah. Yeah. The VAR check doesn't even come up on the screen. I think they checked it for that long at all.
No, they again it quickly.
And then
no penalty. I just couldn't believe it.
And then it wasn't until after the game, and then I'm scrolling from a WhatsApp, and I see you've popped up on the chat and said penalty surely. I'm thinking, well, you said this an hour and a half ago, so it definitely wasn't.
Maybe it's
definitely wasn't Arsenal's penalty they got.
Yeah.
And I said to Max, what's he on about? What penalty is that? And they're checking it. I was like, I couldn't even remember it because it was at real time.
If you're in the moment, definitely.
Real time, I just didn't even think that's nowhere near a penalty. And looking back at it, it looks reasonable. But that's in slow mo, and it's super slow mo. It touches his chest.
You sent me a video earlier of it, and I didn't even notice when the ball rolled off the chest. But the decisions the ref have been making, and we've seen, and from last year, this year, whatever that is, you can argue about the rest of the decisions, and I'll probably have a similar view to on the others. But that is a penalty every day of the week, every day.
Not in real time. For me, that should never be a penalty. I know you said if you're looking back at other decisions, but in real time, he's just he's running back. He's trying to slow down with his arms. I know I am being biased, and if it was Eric Dyer, I'd be in your seat saying exactly the same.
But all I will say is that I was watching Scousers News today, and the defender, everyone goes on about arms and they've got to be in a natural position or unnatural position for it to be a penalty, but his arms are actually in a natural position. Like, you're defending, you're running, you're trying to slow down. You don't, you can't see what I'm doing, but Gabriel's not going to stand there with his hands by his sides.
Because that's unnatural.
And he's not going to stand there with his like hands crossed over, touching his shoulder, like that is unnatural. I'm sat here with Tate. I've never put my arm on my shoulder or just kept them really tight by my side. That's not normal. You don't play football, you don't run, you don't move that way. So, yes, his arms, I think, were in a natural position, but it just is a penalty. Your hand, arm, whatever is in the way, has touched the ball. It's a penalty. It just is.
It's I don't know.
But the ref hasn't given it, so he's irrelevant.
I just my only obviously I'm going to be biased because I'm Arsenal and whatever. Yeah. But I just looking at it in real time at the stadium.
Yeah.
I had no even inkling that would ever be a penalty from being 5 yards away from it. And Michael Oliver was 5 yards away from it.
Yeah.
And watching two professional players run at full pace.
But then that's what the
problem is what I said.
The ref is there for.
The slow mo kills it. Like obviously it looks 1,000 times worse like that. But if you looked at it, I reckon if you looked at it from Michael Oliver's like POV, it's so quick. It happened so quickly.
But then I know what you're saying. Yes,
and it did come off his chest. That's what Gabriel was saying. It came off my chest first.
Yeah.
He said it came off my chest.
Yeah, the ref. Yes, the ref's view in the moment can't see it, but that's why the video is there to show you that he's actually fucking caught with one hand and threw it off for a corner. So it just is a penalty.
Yeah, for a throw-in, actually.
It just is a penalty. So yeah, well done, Arsenal.
Well, about time we got some luck.
About time. Don't give
No, but to be fair, like I said, it all equals out at the end of the season. Every club will have their ones that goes their way, and every club will have ones that doesn't go their way. Maybe that equals out for United.
It's like over the weekend.
I know it shouldn't be.
They're just wrong. They are just wrong decisions.
We'll go on a bit later about the Jesus one, but it was something. Exactly the same thing happened in the Forest game.
Yeah.
But
we'll get on to West Ham as well.
Yeah, just playing basketball.
Disgrace, absolute disgrace.
So going into the second half, I was standing there thinking, wow, Arsenal have come out like an absolute train here.
Yeah.
And they should have, Odegaard should have scored or passed it through to Saka, who would have had a good chance. And then literally out of nowhere, Henderson got the ball, played a nice little pass into Jota around the corner, Saliba out of position, Gabriel out of position, 2-2.
That's what I thought about, because I didn't think, like you said, Liverpool weren't not quite good, but they were in the game, and so I just didn't think Liverpool looked great. But then, like you said, they scored out of nothing, and you think, right, 2-2 here, come on, let's see if they get a result. But yeah,
but literally,
it was out of nothing, wasn't it? It was just absolutely zero.
They scored in the 53rd minute, and it was 7 minutes into the second half. That's all they did all second half. Like I'm standing there thinking, we were playing so well. Like I was not even like I said.
Liverpool just almost scraped 2 goals, and somehow it's 2-2, and you're pretty sat there thinking, what has happened here? How we conceded twice here? And yeah, Liverpool just weren't. It was just another poor performance from Liverpool.
But our front three were just causing them so much havoc. You had Saka on one side, Martinelli on the other, and Jesus through the middle. And you could tell they were causing problems because obviously Trent got hooked at half time. I know he was injured.
Yeah, he did have a
and then Gomez came on.
Yeah.
And with about 20 minutes to go, they hooked Matip because he was just getting roasted for his pace. So they brought what's his name on? Konate, and they also hooked Salah as well.
Yeah, I got the subs they made. Yeah, like you said, Trent was injured and Diaz got injured, brought on Firmino. But I think was it 2-2, and they took off Salah, brought on. This wasn't the actual sub, but Fabinho came on.
Yeah, for Salah,
and
they brought on
Harvey Elliott as well.
For
Jota, like it's 2-2. Liverpool away from home. They're one of the biggest sides, one of the best teams on paper. Surely go for the win. Like this is, go.
While Arsenal were bringing on Fabio Vieira to try and win it.
Exactly, yeah.
Well, just going back to the teams like we just touched on then, I was quite surprised with Liverpool's team. They started 4 strikers.
Yeah. And that's what they've been playing. They're basically playing 4-2-4.
And I just thought, here we go. This game's got goals in it. And Arsenal, because obviously Zinchenko got injured again, they started Tomiyasu left back. First start of the season.
Very good, I thought. Very good.
And we've done it. Arteta's done it before, where he's played a right-sided player at left back because when you've got a wide wing, I think he did Maitland-Niles against Mahrez once. A couple of times, maybe even Cedric against her. Makes my skin crawl that saying that bland word. But Tomiyasu was absolutely superb because obviously Salah's cutting in, he's going his stronger side. And Tomiyasu won the most ground duels, most aerial duels, made the most tackles, and made the most ball recoveries of any player on the pitch.
It was good. And even, you're saying he's right foot, but even used his left foot to play the ball forward.
He's superb at both feet. And one thing I really like about him, I think he's press resistant. He literally, if you ever watch him, he's one of them players, Spurs have probably got a player like that as well, who only, I I think their fans only really know how good they actually are or appreciate them.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I
If I
put
look
Ben
at
White-
Arsenal and
Ben
Tommy
White in
Asu
that
play, I'd be
category
like,
as well.
Yeah, sweet. I'll be like, somebody has to get at him.
Yeah.
Like, surely he's got to be crap. But yeah, exactly like you said, there's players that all clubs have got, and only that those supporters and those fans will realise they're good players.
Because I thought Ben White's in that category. He was absolutely superb again at right back. Literally the perfect foil for Saka going forward and defending and whatnot. But obviously moving into the second half, then after Firmino scored, Arsenal was still on top. And then it was literally like watching Sunday League football, defending for like, I'd say about 90 seconds. Arsenal were just battering them in the box. Liverpool couldn't get it out.
Which led to the penalty. Yeah,
Saka kept overlapping and whipping balls in and kept getting cleared.
It was like a goal mouth.
Doing it.
Yeah. And the ball just stayed within 18 yards of their goal. It didn't move, didn't get cleared, didn't go out for a corner or something, or no one missed a shot. It just kept going back and back and back, yeah.
And then Martinelli fizzed it in, and then Thiago absolutely booted.
Sent Jesus into another
into orbit after he's already been knocked out once.
Yeah, that was bad. That was awful.
Deliberate or not?
What, the Tsimikas?
Yeah.
Wait, Tsimikas, sorry.
Yeah.
No chance. No chance.
But it was. Well, I was just seeing people think, is it? No, I don't think it was deliberate.
No way. No.
It
was when it happened, I thought the worst for him. Like,
whether he needs an Oscar for fucking acting,
yeah,
it was outrageous.
It was awful, and obviously he'd been knocked out, and you obviously have no control over your body once it happens. But in the moment, I was like, I almost couldn't watch. I was like, bloody hell, what has happened? Like, did they need to stop showing this? Like, and then you see the replay. Like, oh right, he's literally obviously caught in a sweet spot, and his elbow just brushed his face, or whatever, and calls that had to happen. And yeah, glad he was all right, but bloody hell, it was rough to watch.
Got absolutely walloped, and I was sitting there thinking, oh.
Yeah.
Is it time for the main man?
Yeah.
Is it time for the main man? Well, Jesus recovered, and then
it led to the penalty.
To the penalty, which at the time I remember it was like I said, it was all hell broke off in the box. Chaos. It was all kicking off left, right, and the ball was going everywhere. I just turned around in frustration. I was like, for God's sake! I heard the ref blow, and I was like, for God's sake, turn around! Everyone's going nuts. I'm like, what the hell's going on? Oliver's pointing to the spot.
Yeah, but even just before that. One of the attacks, and it come back out, and you see Arteta on the sideline. He's similar to you. He was like turning around, like punching the air, like thinking, the attack's over. And somehow it goes back down left, smashed across, and it leads to the penalty. But
because I didn't see it in real time, I was like, no idea what that's been given for.
Yeah, we were sat there fuming. Obviously, it is very, very soft, very soft.
But I get given all the time.
But again, it's exactly that. Exactly why I thought the first one with the handball should have been a penalty as well. But with what's been given and how they're refereeing, it is a penalty. I mean, it's so soft. Like, Jesus gets touched, then he puts his feet on the ground, then he falls over. But it just
he hasn't played the. It's one of them ones. He hasn't played the ball. But you see him every week. They get
all the time. Yeah, and it was a shame. Yeah, obviously gutted that Arsenal got the penalty and Saka scored, but. Yeah, you see it all the time now, and that's just sadly the way it is.
So obviously, God's child picked the ball up. And since missing the penalty in the Euro 2021 final, which was his first ever penalty he took, he's now scored penalties versus Chelsea, Man United, and now Liverpool.
Couldn't do it when he matters over his country, though, could he?
It was his first ever one, the young lad.
No, he had a good game at the weekend. He scored.
He was
3 goals so far.
Superb, I think he was. Not unlucky to get man of the match. Martinelli was just a joke. I've never seen. Do you know what he reminds me of? Alexis Sanchez. It's just
he's a little wiry,
just a
menace.
You just hate to play against him.
And he's quick and he's quite skillful. Like, he's definitely a pain.
And after Arsenal went 3-2 up, Liverpool didn't really do anything. I wasn't like nervous on the ground. The ground wasn't. There was no nerves or anything. We sort of just played that last 15 minutes out, just playing the ball around, knocking it around. You could even see how relaxed I was on TV when
what was that? The end of the game or
91st minute when Eddie came on?
They knew.
Obviously the Sky had been listening to the pod.
Yeah, they
knew where to get on when Eddie was on.
The bunker must be wired up somewhere.
But no. Before we move on, there's just a few more things I'd like to add. Arsenal had 46 touches in Liverpool's box in that game, which is more than they've had in the 5 previous Premier League games against Liverpool combined.
Bloody hell.
Which is 44. So in the last 5 games...
And 40 of those came just for Jesus.
Well, literally, because I rewatched some of the game today before I came, and I was just like... half of them are just like Saka little touches, bang across, and Shaka's had another which bang across. But no, Liverpool... And that's the most touches Liverpool had in their box since Klopp started, but bar one game against Man City.
Yeah, I've got some bits on Liverpool, but yeah, worst start in 10 years in a Premier League season, worst start for Jurgen Klopp, and yeah, they've got Man City next at home, so it doesn't get much easier.
Which we will predict at the end of the show.
Yes, yeah, it doesn't get much easier for Liverpool at all at the minute.
Yeah, I've got one last stat on Liverpool, which is quite funny. Liverpool beat Bournemouth 9-0 earlier in the season, and now they're below them.
Yeah, they're now sitting 10th.
Liverpool picked up 5 points since that game.
Mid-table mediocrity, I think.
Yeah.
But
before we go for our break, the last club to start a Premier League season with 8 wins out of 9 and not to win the title was
Arsenal. And when was that take? What year?
2007, 2008.
And before that, who was the last club before them?
Arsenal.
What year was that take?
2005.
It must have been on the same stat page.
The 2007, 2008 one, though, is a caveat, though, because Arsenal should have an asterisk next to the name for winning that, because it was Eduardo's leg injury.
Oh,
that
poor
cost us.
Eduardo.
Poor Eduardo.
Just quickly before we stop again, but on Saka, he's scored his highest record in the league is 11 goals. Do you think he beats that this season?
Will he beat that this year? No.
I think, yeah.
Although he's on penalties this year, so
yeah.
Maybe.
Will
he get another 8 goals though?
I would say. I mean, I would say so, but yeah, I don't know. You play. He's not necessarily the main man, is he? The way they play it, it leads into Jesus or Martinelli normally pops up.
I don't know. Maybe I'm being a bit harsh. Maybe I don't know. I fucking love him, so I hope so. Yeah.
Yeah. He's a good player, and I think that's like you said about Spurs last week. But it seems that people are paying more attention to him. Like you said, Tottenham doubled up on him, and right, if we stop him, then there's a good chance we'll do well. And I think Liverpool did a similar thing, and obviously he scored twice and didn't turn out too well for them. But
well, if we keep getting soft penalties, then why not?
yeah, the ref's on your side every week.
Right, that leaves us. We're going to have a quick break, and we'll be back with you shortly.
Hello listeners, it's former England and Premier League player Matt Jarvis here. Hope you're enjoying the episode so far. Remember to support the podcast by sharing with your friends and family and leaving that 5-star review. Now come on you Irons and stay loyal.
Let's move on to the Sunday night fixture. So, I can't remember the last time there was a Sunday game at 7 o'clock.
Yeah, 7 o'clock was a strange old time, wasn't it? Very, very weird. But it was, a weekend full of football. But Sunday was, you could have started watching from midday and basically not took your eyes off a game of football. But yeah, ended with Everton United, didn't it?
Which we both predicted wrong. So
we're
a bit biased in that.
All sorts of drinks tonight. But I didn't. Yeah, obviously I didn't see that. Didn't think United would do it. But how wrong?
Well, it started off with Iwobi after 5 minutes. I remember I was in the queue for the train and Iwobi scored, and obviously ex-Arsenal went a few cheers in the crowd going. Man is playing probably the best football of his career so far, isn't he?
He looks, obviously found the side and looks comfortable, but what a goal, what a finish.
Demarai Gray robbed Casemiro of his first start, then he robbed the ball, played into Iwobi, and what a finish into the corner.
Yeah, very good.
De Gea, no chance.
Yeah.
And 1-0 after 5 minutes. I didn't watch the game live. Obviously, watched the highlights back. I think
it wasn't. Yeah, it was just I watched it, but it was what Everton are currently like. It's just a sort of typical sort of we'll fight and we'll run and we'll try as hard as we can. We're not that good. We haven't got the quality. But they like I said started off brilliantly and United got a goal back pretty quick as well.
Both United goals were pretty much identical. They lost. Everton lost the ball. We lost the second one. I can't remember who lost the first one. In the middle of the park, got played. I think Fernandes robs it off someone. Yeah, fizzed it into Martial, who played into Antony. What is Pickford doing? I don't know. Yeah,
both the goals he's at.
Yeah, he makes his mind up
decisions.
For him.
Yeah, very.
He runs out, and Antony scores. Scores again, and Antony's the first Manchester United player to score in each of his first Premier League appearances for the club, and the first player since, if any Man United fans know this man, Ian Storymore.
Ooh.
In 1972 to score in his first league appearance.
The Chelmsford Reds are just jumping off their couch. Yes, I know him, I remember him, yeah.
But no, he looks a good addition to that squad.
Yeah, I don't watch United enough, I only obviously watch them if they're on TV, whatever, but yeah, I think he's one there. I was just thinking then, like Antony, to me, doesn't look like a brilliant player. I'm not like, oh bloody hell, Anthony's quality, but he scored three goals. Is it 3 goals or
3
3
and
in
3.
a row? Or yeah, so you can't really like. I think he's going to be one of them for me. Like, he might score a few goals and doesn't necessarily do enough, but he'll pop up with a goal and you think, bloody hell, like he scored again. So yeah, no, he looks like a decent player, doesn't he?
And before Ronaldo's goal, obviously he came on. Ronaldo didn't start, but he came on for Martial injured.
Ice cold Martial.
Yeah.
Yeah, what
Another ice pack on his leg now.
Yeah. Poor bloke. I saw as well. Someone talking about it, but when he got subbed off, he just marched straight down the tunnel, and it was on Ben Foster's thing, and so it was Ben Foster and Troy Deeney, and obviously Troy Deeney still plays, and they're both saying like that's just shocking as a professional footballer and within your team. That is so poor. Like whether you're injured or not, I think there was like 5 or so minutes left, and just watch the end of the first half, go in at half time with your team, surrounded by your teammates, depending on how they get on, and yeah, go into half time, and then go if you need a shower, if you need to fucking get a rub down, whatever it is, then go and do it. But yeah, they weren't impressed at all with Martial.
I listened to that this morning actually. I thought Ben Foster and I don't really like Ben Foster, but I thought Troy Deeney came across well.
Yeah, it's good. It's interesting to see and listen to obviously people that have been right involved with it.
And if Ben, if you're listening, then
yeah.
you're always welcome down the pod, or we'll go up to Stoke-on-Trent. Or no, you're Leamington Spa, aren't you?
Yeah,
that's where you are, Ben.
Yeah, if you turn up for hashtag, I'm sure you could make the trip.
We'll come meet you up there. But I thought obviously Casemiro's first start for the team in the Prem. I thought he made a big difference. I know he made the mistake for the first goal, but when you're not playing McFred, you break that partnership up and you put a 5 times Champions League Brazil international.
Yeah. I don't know why they didn't do it for City away, but they might have still lost 6-3. But yeah, Casemiro's got to be the option.
He robs Iwobi, plays a lovely slide rule pass through, and then you've got the best finisher in the Premier League. Yeah. Ronaldo looks at Pickford, finds the near post, slots it in left footed, 700 up. Yeah,
and that we obviously get some notes down for the talk we have, but for this game I've literally just got Ronaldo stuff and a little bit on Everton. But yeah, the Cristiano Ronaldo 700th professional league goal is ridiculous, isn't he? The bloke is a machine.
Which is mad. Should we go on to Ronaldo, or should we touch on the Rashford thing, or just go straight to...
The Rashford is, it's the correct decision for me. I think it's the disallowed goal is, but then going to West Ham and other examples. Excuse me. Other examples went the other way, but it's definitely a disallowed goal for me, handball.
Not much really happened in the second half from what I watched. And then, apart from I thought I was about a second away from screaming when I thought Pickford was going to score.
Oh,
but
yeah.
The corner came in. Varane came in.
He's off his head, the bloke. The bloke, I've said it loads of times, but he's off his head. He just comes charging in, doesn't he? Gets right involved. And I think the ball... Yeah, it was the one you said, Varane sort of just...
He literally just come on
away, didn't he? Yeah, just clips it. And Onana and Pickford were both waiting. Pickford was ready to fucking have a rave in the corner, but... Yeah, his quality would have been so good if he'd have dropped down and he just hits a half volley, like thumps it with his left boot, would have been brilliant. But
gloves off.
Oh, it would have been so good. I do love Pickford.
But no, Man United got another win, and they've only they lost 1 in the last 6.
Yeah, they won 5 out of 6. Obviously, that 1 loss at City, which you'd say again, everyone's going to lose to City. Yes, they got battered, and it was Manchester Derby, but at the end of the day, they've only lost 3 points, and 5 out of 6, they totally turned it around, haven't they? Totally, and Ten Hag they seem to be doing alright, slowly building a side and building the way he wants to play.
Yeah.
And that man Ronaldo will go on to,
So 700 goals, 700 club goals, isn't it?
I think 700 league club goals. His record.
So it doesn't count Champions League?
No, no, I think it does. Yeah, club goals. Sorry.
Yeah,
because ignore the league. Yeah, talking rubbish.
I know, because that's what I thought of. Originally, I wrote down league goals, and I was like,
no,
it's just
Yeah, no, he scored. So I've got here. You probably got very similar stuff. So he scored 5 at Sporting, 144 at United so far. 101 at Juventus, and then 450 at Real Madrid.
Yes, so just to note on that, because I've had to just redo my teaser because
have I got it?
No, I wrote league goals. No, I wrote league goals, but it's the same.
It's probably
it's club goals.
Yeah,
but just my answers changed because I know.
Yeah,
I put basically he scored 2 goals against this club in cups.
Right,
but
but going back,
the answer's still the same.
The bloke is a joke.
But
that's what. We're watching. So Haaland's the first thing that pops into your head at the minute when talking about goal scoring and people scoring all sorts of goals. And there's a stat about it that goes around, and you might even have it. But I just think where has Ronaldo got these goals from? Like, he scored. I've got the stat here about his time at Real Madrid, and it's absolutely ridiculous. And I'll say it now if I can find it. 1 second. So yeah, at Madrid, his career high in one season was 61. He scored 61 goals for Real Madrid in one season. So from 2014, that was in 2014-15 season. And then from 2010 to 2016, he scored 50 plus each season. And obviously that includes the 2014-15 with the 61.
Yeah.
That is ridiculous. Like,
so
where's he had the time to do that is mental.
The stat there's obviously I know he got more goals for Real Madrid than he did games.
Yes,
which is just mad. 450
outrageous.
goals. I don't know how many games. So it's like 430 something like that.
Yeah, it's quite a few less as well.
But 700 divided by 20 is 35.
Yeah.
He's been playing for 20. He
20,
scored his first
you're
goal on October the 7th, 2002
for Sporting. Yeah.
for Sporting, and he's averaged for the last 20 years 35 goals a season.
Yeah.
Like, so where do these goals come from?
Well, and even this is separate to what he's done, but even for Portugal, he scored 117 in 191 games, and his first came in 2004 in a friendly against Greece before the Euros. The numbers are ridiculous. The numbers are
Bloke
ridiculous.
is an absolute machine. And he used to be one of my favourite players to watch, and when he was coming back to the Prem, I was really excited because he was going to sign for Man City, and I thought this is right up my agenda. I like Ronaldo.
Yeah.
Him turning his back on United to go win some trophies, which he should have done.
Yeah.
Which he really should have. He would be doing exactly what Haaland would have been doing.
That, yeah.
They would have won the Champions League last year. They would have won the Premier League. Although they would have won the Premier League, he would have won everything last year with him. And he would have. Oh, it would have been great. But up to him what he did. It's a shame. Maybe it's a shame for football. Shame for him that he's not playing this season. I don't think he will play much this season.
Who's that? Sorry,
Ronaldo.
Well, I don't know. It looked like, and there was all the talk that he was the massive problem, and he needs to be out of the club. But I mean, now you can't argue the bloke, can you? It's Cristiano Ronaldo. Like, everyone's like, get out my club. Like, if you watch Mark Goldbridge, he absolutely loves Ronaldo, but also loves it. I love the chat of him sort of winding everyone up, and he's like, Ronaldo. He's quality. And yeah, look at Ronaldo now. He's a joke. So
I'll tell you who does barely love Ronaldo is Roy Keane, your mate. Did you see him? It was like he's the third best player in the Premier League right now. But
in that's Ronaldo is the only thing United have got at the moment that's close to what Roy Keane and Gary Neville went through, and I can't bother talk about them. They're two just mind-numbing and negative and boring and horrible, cynical old men. They just But Ronaldo's the closest thing they've got to him, so that's obviously why he absolutely adores him.
So you messaged me the week saying, have you got a favourite Ronaldo league goal? And what have you gone for?
Well, for my sort of Premier League moment, if you like, for Ronaldo, is that it's the classic one everyone sees. The Portsmouth free kick it is like prime Ronaldo. He's got his hair sort of gelled disgustingly. Yeah. He's chiseled. He's got those. I think he had like Nike Vapors on, sort of like bright yellow.
Mercurials.
Yeah, and they were like pink or yellow or something. The ball was the old Premier League yellow ball.
Yellow and purple, wasn't it?
It was a bit wet in Manchester. The Sol Campbell actually gave away the free kick. I watched it today. The free kick is just it's such a dive from Ronaldo. But yeah, my mate Sol Campbell fouls Ronaldo, gets in the wall. David James just stuck to the ground, couldn't move, and the ball's just like flies into the score. It's just a ridiculous goal. Yeah. The bloke's a machine. Yeah, brilliant goal for me. Yourself?
I actually put one because I used to be a bit of a Ronaldo fucking geek and just loved it. I love it. Back in the day, this sort of also disappoints me about Spanish football now. Like, no one cares about it now because Messi and Ronaldo aren't there. It's not on Sky anymore, so who the hell watches it?
Yeah.
I used to love watching on a Sunday evening, like Real Madrid or Barcelona, when it was like, when they were both at their prime. It was Mourinho versus
time.
Pep. That you could name countless players, but when them two were out there going for each other, and it was when Ronaldo scored at the Nou Camp to win the league, basically, and it was what's his name? It was Ozil played a lovely ball through.
Yeah.
I think he skipped past Puyol. Shout out Puyol.
Yeah. Oh god, yeah, Puyol.
Time to tell our story, Puyol. Come on, Carlos, come out the closet. That could have been the title. Carlos comes out of the closet.
we could have plenty of options for the title.
We try to keep it a bit PG.
Yeah, we've got all sorts of fans out there, so we don't want to annoy anyone.
He skipped round Valdez, slotted it in, and did the old famous calm down celebration in front of the fans.
I've got a couple. The overhead kick he scored for versus Juventus for Real Madrid 2018. Just I don't remember the context or what happened, what the result was, but yeah, ridiculous overhead kick.
Semi-final won it 3-0 up, I think, at the time.
Better couldn't do it a better time, could you really?
Yeah.
But then the other one for me, the other moment, sort of like a top Ronaldo moment, was when he was playing for Juve, but was against Atletico, and they lost 2-0 in the first leg, and went back to Juve. And Ronaldo scores a hat-trick. I think he scored 2 headers and a penalty. Yeah. And he just, imagine the feeling you get. I mean, I can only dream of, I'd love to score a tap-in against bloody Lincoln for Tottenham in front of the Park Lane. But Ronaldo in that moment, imagine, I just, you get goosebumps thinking about it. Like, what a feeling that must be.
And he gave it the old cojones celebration as well.
Because he was getting dogs abuse, obviously, at Madrid, when they played the first leg against Atletico, and rightly so, you would. But yeah, turn around, come back to Juve, and just put him to the sword and scored a hat trick. It was just a classic, historical Ronaldo moment. It's brilliant.
I mean, even 101 goals at Juventus is not spoken about enough, I don't think.
Yeah, and it was almost, he just got to that point. It was like, right, where's my next? I'm moving on now. I've done that bit. I need to move on. And it's the goal scoring.
I wish he never went back to United though. I wish he went somewhere else, like PSG, for example. Yeah. Or Bayern, or do something different. But
I don't know. I quite similar to you. Obviously, you probably dislike United for other reasons. But for me, when I remember United, is Ronaldo, Scholes, Giggs, all that prime United side. So to see him go back is quite cool. But
all the people I dislike.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But no, yeah, Ronaldo, you're a joke. You're an absolute joke.
One thing I did actually find quite interesting, going just go back to Man United quickly before we move on. Manchester United became the first side to win 100 Premier League games in which they've conceded the first goal.
Really?
And do you know who was second in that list?
Sorry, what was it?
Manchester United became the first side to win 100 Premier League games in which they've conceded the first goal.
So basically come from goal behind. Who was second? Was it Arsenal, was it?
Spurs.
Was it Tottenham?
96. Of all the clubs in the Premier League, I know obviously
I would have said we were the top team to go 1-0 up and lose. Like we were probably 2-0 up.
Because obviously you got your Arsenals, Liverpools, Chelseas, Man Uniteds, Evertons, and Spurs. I think they're the six.
Always been in it.
Never been relegated.
Yeah.
But Spurs 96. Only fourth United, but
that's not even bad, is it? I'd have said all right. Oh God, sorry. Tomori, Milan, red card.
But then I suppose United used to be good, so that was probably on zero about 5 years ago.
Yeah. That's pretty. Yeah, I'd have definitely said Spurs the other way around, but no. Well done, Tottenham.
And well done, Man United. I think they're now fifth, so
yeah. And hopefully, just on Everton, I do have a bit on them, but obviously, Ronaldo's the main attraction. They were before United. They were unbeaten in 6. They're now 12th. Their next game is Spurs away at the weekend. So, yeah, it could be back-to-back losses for Fat Frank.
Yeah, I just think Everton, like we said, I think they're not a great team, but we'll go on to it in a bit later.
Yeah, I think we're gonna. That's our next sort of port call, is to discuss the dross of the rest of the league.
Yeah.
Basically, isn't it?
We'll run through quickly the rest of the results. Yeah. We'll have a quick break, and then we're going to go on to a bit of a who is going down.
Yes.
And who is going down? We have no idea.
Please let us know.
Yeah. So let's quickly run through them. Bournemouth Leicester 2-1. Bournemouth 2, Leicester 1. Sorry. Yeah. So since Gary O'Neill's taken charge, Man City got 13 points, Arsenal 12, Bournemouth 9. Only 2 teams
Bournemouth
more.
Are looking okay, aren't they? They've, like you said, with Gary O'Neill, since that 9-0, it's almost like, Parker's gone, but I would have said, Parker would have got similar results, and Leicester, another shocking result.
And Danny Ward again for the other goal.
And I thought they sort of maybe turned us like cool, and it could all change, but when they beat Forest 4-0, I thought, right, they're not going to go on a mad run, but they might be back to their old ways. But yeah, bloody hell, another loss for Brodgers, wasn't it? Now they're sitting bottom of the table. Don't want to talk too much. Like I said, we're going to cover it, but yeah, bottom of the table.
But Chelsea 3, Wolves 0, pretty routine. Yeah, Wolves still no manager. Yeah. But shout out to Brozier, who got his first Chelsea goal. It was quite a nice thing for the young lad.
And while they're Chelsea bending over backwards to applaud Costa as well, that's embarrassing. Absolutely embarrassing. And also embarrassing for Costa. Imagine embarrassed. You're not embarrassed. Imagine being a Wolves fan, travelling that way, your team's getting pumped, Costa comes off and has basically walked a lap of the stadium, lap of the pitch just to get the applause. It's embarrassing, but yeah. Next,
Man City 4, Southampton 0.
next. Haaland only scored 1. He's a fraud.
I've got one question to ask you.
Go on.
And the listeners out there. I want a comment on the Instagram post or on the Apple Pod. So Haaland has scored in 7 consecutive Premier League games. Can he equal Jamie Vardy's record of 11?
Oh, that's a good one. They got Liverpool next, don't they? Liverpool away.
I don't know who the other 4 are, but
Yeah, no, I don't. There's nothing stopping him. I mean, obviously, no one's stopping.
will he do
him.
it?
There's no reason for him not to do it. I can't see.
Yes or no? I want an answer.
I think he'll score 11. He won't score the 12.
He won't beat 12. Okay.
He'll get to 11.
Okay.
I would say 11. What do you reckon?
No, he won't do it. He won't do it.
Well,
Sure.
you got Arsenal in that. Have you got
No,
Arsenal in that?
yeah, we're meant to play them, but it's been called off because we were playing PSV.
Oh.
I'm just going to pause here quickly while I watch Jorginho's penalty. Will he do shutter or will he do a proper run up?
Here we go. 20th minute.
Ooh,
Milan at home. Down
please
to 10
miss.
men now as well.
Jorginho back in his home nation. Comes the run up. Send it the wrong
slots
way.
out.
1-0 Chelsea.
Yeah, the Milan fans aren't happy. Yeah, like I said, Tomori got sent off and there was a bit of commotion, but yep, Chelsea 1 up.
Brighton 0, Tottenham 1, Harry Kane at 22 minutes.
Yeah, pretty good. It was a far better performance from us, really. Like, it wasn't a brilliant game, but as a Spurs fan, you watched it, you were quite happy. We went for three in the middle. We looked more solid, and yeah, it was a better performance. No Royale. Doxy played right back, and it was just a good away performance. And they said Brighton are a pretty good side at the minute, so yeah, we were pretty happy with that result.
Yeah. Palace 2, Leeds 1. Not really much to talk about.
Yeah,
Eze scored a nice goal.
Well, yeah, like I said, we'll cover those sort of sides in a moment, but yeah, pretty average game, to be honest.
And penultimately, West Ham 3, Fulham 1.
Yeah.
Pereira, great goal, then had an absolute brain fart to give away a stupid penalty.
And that's more about the VAR stuff, but that is definite a penalty, 100% penalty. Like, what the ref's looking at it underneath his nose. He's told you, stop whatever you're doing, I'm going to give a foul. He persists on doing it and takes him out, and yes, it's a definite penalty.
And then Scamacca scores a goal that he pretty sure thinks is going to be disallowed.
Yeah,
he
he doesn't celebrate, doesn't move a muscle. Brilliant finish, doesn't move. Obvious handball, which directly leads to him scoring. It just needs to be turned over. Is a handball.
He even thought it was like out.
Yeah.
And then he went mad. And
it's the weirdest reaction. Like, he's been told it's a goal and he's going absolutely mental. But
2 and 2 for him now.
Though. He looked right. He had a few chances ahead, a couple headers I think, and a shot he sort of dragged wide. But yeah, I mean that's just another shocking decision. And the worst decision probably of the whole weekend is the West Ham third goal.
And then Antonio getting the 90 plus 1 goal. Such a scrappy goal, isn't it?
Yeah, but do you see it? He just carries the ball with his left arm, but because apparently
it's
his
his second phase.
because Tim Ream just basically ran into his goal.
He ran into Leno.
Oh, and then Antonio obviously puts it in, but again, just it's handball, foul, the other way, whatever, carry on. And yeah, obviously the Fulham manager was fuming and had every right.
Just quick note on Jarrod Bowen. Jarrod Bowen has scored 19 of his 23 Premier League goals at the London Stadium. That's the highest ratio of any player to score in a single stadium. Has scored 20 goals in the league.
Bloody hell.
83% of his goals have come at home.
Yeah, well.
So it means he doesn't travel. Doesn't travel well.
No. And then end up, Monday night, Forest Villa, wasn't
it? Dennis the Menace and Ashley Young.
Yeah.
I've got not much to add on that.
No, it's just poor. Just very...
Gerrard out.
Yeah, Gerrard, fraud.
And Ori is shit.
Yeah, basically that one. Get us on Sky Sports, talk about that. That's it. That's all you need to know.
Right, we'll leave it there. Quick break, and we'll be back in a sec.
So now we're gonna attack the teams from basically 8th downwards, but yeah, just the rest of the league that are all much of the same really. They're all so similar. And sort of talk about relegation and yeah, what is going on below the sort of top 7.
Yes, I said to Jack earlier in the week, who is going down? Like, the bottom three right now, Forest, Leicester, Wolves.
Yeah.
I had in my bottom three, I had Forest to go down.
Yeah.
Did you have any M3?
Not in the current bottom three. I went for Leeds, Bournemouth, Fulham.
So, like we said, and the next one we've got, so should we start from 8th downwards or 20th upwards?
Yeah. Go eight down.
So, Bournemouth and Fulham, who I reckon were in 95% of everyone's predictions, either one of them two would have gone down in everyone's predictions.
And for me, Bournemouth, yes, they're 8th, but they lost 9-0. They've lost 9-0. Like, you can't lose 9-0 and then suddenly be a good side. They're so involved with it, and they're on. I've got it here. They're on 12 points. Leicester on 4. So between 20th and 8th, there's obviously an 8-point difference, which is absolutely nothing. That's like the Championship where you can win 2 games and suddenly be in the top half. It's absolute chaos. I don't know what is going on, but Bournemouth, newly promoted side. Yeah, they're not out of it by any
But look at
stretch.
Bournemouth, like I said, 12 points. They played 9 games, 3 wins, 3 draws, 3 losses. 3 losses against Arsenal, Liverpool and City.
Yeah.
Like, that ain't bad, is it?
No, not at all.
And you would take on before the start of the season, you would think, they're going to lose them 3 games anyway. Let's write them off. So out the 6 games they've technically played, bar them, they've got 12 points, which is some going.
It looks okay, but they don't, like all the teams we'll talk about in a minute, but they just look like what they should. They're newly promoted side. They're just scrapping. They just look awful. Like
they're full of Championship players.
Yeah, just a lot of poor players, and like I said, a caretaker manager, Gary Neal, hasn't been proven at any level or any point in his coaching career. It's just they're definitely involved.
I mean, I did have them to go down. I think they still might, because I just think their squad is nowhere near good enough. But
once they sort of get to Christmas and that period's over, and the new year, it could all be so different.
Mm.
And then what? Fulham 9th.
Fulham, yeah. So I didn't have Fulham to go down because I said Scott Parker will keep them up.
Yeah. I mean, that in a parallel universe that could happen, but it won't happen here.
I actually put Fulham down as my losers of the week last week because they got thumped 5-1 at home to Newcastle.
They lost 2 on the bounce now.
Because they didn't have, and Mitrovic got injured. They didn't have Mitrovic again.
And they did have him at West Ham. They had Vinicius playing.
If Vinicius scores more than 3 league goals this season, give me a forfeit to do.
Anything. He's shambles. I saw him play at the weekend. I was thinking, well, whatever Fulham do, they're not beating West Ham, are they, with him?
Well, I remember you had him, and then he went to PSV. PSV had him for 2 years on loan, and then the second year they're like, no, we don't want him anymore. He's rubbish.
He's poor.
He's
Very
just
poor.
a rubbish player. Fulham, I think they should have enough. If Mitrovic's injury isn't too bad, then they should have enough.
I said Leeds, Bournemouth, Fulham, and I don't know. Yeah, again, Fulham, they're 9th. It looks okay, but if you look at what they've done, 2 on the bounce they've lost, 3 out of the last 4 they've lost. Like without Mitrovic as well, like you're saying, they're just another poor side to add to the mix. And Liverpool sat in 10th.
Probably the favourites to go down.
Yeah, I think so, isn't it? Yeah, but I'd say the only thing with that, what the sides we've got here, Liverpool are only anomaly in that is just like a freak of nature. What's going on there? I don't know.
What the team is sitting 13th?
West Ham. No, we'll get on to them. They've got their time. We'll get on to them. But yeah, Liverpool are the only anomaly, and I just think they're similar to what, in a more extreme case, but similar to what happened with Spurs, and in that Spurs got to a Champions League final. For Tottenham, had a very intense season, and the following season just fell off the face of the earth. And Liverpool, I think I've got it down here somewhere.
Well,
last year they finished second in the league, won the League Cup, FA Cup, got to the Champions League final.
Every single game they could have played.
Did absolutely everything, were brilliant and are brilliant. And I think surely that has got to take something out of the players, and even the man. You see Klopp in his interviews, he looks down, he looks sort of a bit defeated and sort of miserable, and he's not in the limelight as much, is he? They're not winning, they're not at the top, so he's not on Sky News every other 2 minutes moaning about something. So yeah, I just think they've had that huge season last year, and with a terrible summer that they have, signed Arthur, got rid of Mane, one of their best players, and I just think they're having a shocker.
And Liverpool are the only team in this bottom, what was it, 16 that have a positive goal difference of 8, which is because of the 9-0.
Yeah, exactly. They are. I mean, they won't go down. They definitely won't go down, but they won't. They just won't go down, will they? And the fact we talk about it is comical, but They just won't go down. You surely don't think they would.
No, of course not. I just find it funny that we've included them in this bottom 16.
Yeah, they have every right to. They're awful. But yeah, they're again another side in there. Brentford haven't won in 3 games. Just
Brentford, yeah, could be
2 losses and a draw.
Could be on a bit of a slippery slope recently.
And their next game Brighton. So again, another example of another team involved. Everton.
Brentford, just quickly on them. I think they're a little bit like Fulham. Tony gets injured.
Yeah,
They've got no chance.
Yeah,
No chance.
Massive.
Obviously, I think they'll probably just about stay up, but
Yeah.
they will lose a lot more games if he doesn't play.
And Everton, now they're the most in form in the last 5. They've done okay. They've been unbeaten, but they obviously lost against United, and then they can go to Tottenham at the weekend and should and most likely lose at the weekend. So that's 2 back-to-back losses. Like it just these whole group of teams and
is at the Google Stadium.
the Google Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Great name. But they're just it's just another side, another example of just a poor team.
I think a few people would have had them going down, but I think, like we said, I think there's probably worse teams.
And that is the main thing at the minute is there's going to be 3 worse teams than some of these sides, and that's gonna help them out massively. And yeah, West Ham, that would be brilliant, wouldn't it? Oh, if they go down.
West Ham, they've only ever been relegated once under GSB's ownership, and that was after 6 months of taking over, so it doesn't count because GSB are superb owners.
Oh, 2-0 Chelsea.
It's not. Obama what? Obama who? Oh, getting too old for that front flip now. Well, I'll be speaking about Aubameyang in a bit later anyway, so I've got a few words for the bloke.
But yeah, West Ham, 10 is it 10? 10 points from 9 games. West Ham. 10 points.
Not what they would have wanted.
No, and not what you'd have thought they would be on the way they go on. 10 points from 9 games, West Ham. So just settle down.
But they're slowly improving. 2 wins out of 2. I think once, like we said, Skamaka and Paqueta and everyone start playing more games, they'll find some form.
Yeah,
they'll be easily top half. Did I ask the question earlier? Who will finish higher, West Ham or Newcastle?
You didn't earlier, but I would say Newcastle. I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what West Ham have done the last couple of seasons. They've just been the best of the rest. So all these sort of teams we're going through now, West Ham have been on top, and they've Moyes has sorted a way out, and they've just found themselves sort of creeping into that top half and being one of the better sides. But yeah, again, another team just awful at the minute, absolutely awful.
Leeds United. So
Christ, Leeds.
I had first
Leeds.
Episode 1. I said Leeds are finishing rock bottom. Jesse March out,
and that is definitely on the cards. Marsh is close as well if it carries on there.
So one win in 6.
That game at Palace. Oh my God, the game at Palace at the weekend couldn't be much worse. I don't think. Again, they haven't got a striker. A common theme with these teams that
Mr. City, didn't you? It could have been 2-0, couldn't he?
Like the strikers they have, or when they lose their main man up front, they're stuffed. And Leeds are a perfect example of that.
Leeds host the league leaders on Sunday.
Yeah, no winning 5 for Leeds.
Could be potential banana skin for Arsenal.
But that is
never know.
Again with these sides. So Leeds played Palace, or Palace played Leeds, or whatever you look at it. And obviously, Palace 15th, so we'll include them. But when they play each other, they think, right, we got Palace, for example. They got Leeds at home this weekend. We're gonna do this and do this. We're gonna play on the front foot. We're gonna pass the ball and do all this. But when they Leeds, they'll play Arsenal at the weekend. Leeds will just sit back like against Chelsea and defend their lives. They'll fight, tackle, chase after everything. But then when they go and play the likes of Southampton, Villa, Palace, they think, we should get a win here. We need to go and do this, do that. No. Carry on the way you've played, or you want to play against the top sides, and do that against the other teams, and you'll pick up results. But yeah, it's just they just change their mentality, and they think they have the right to go and play a certain way when they play other teams. They're doing it all wrong.
Because they got absolutely battered by Brentford, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. Yeah, massively.
And like I said, the last game they won was against Chelsea.
Yeah, they won in 5. Leeds haven't won in 5. It's awful.
Palace sitting 15th, and I think they've been really unlucky this season, Palace. Obviously, they played Arsenal first game of the season, and then they were 2-0 up against Man City at half-time and lost that one. Could have beat Liverpool, should have beaten, or at least got a point against Chelsea last week. That was just outrageous refereeing.
Yeah.
But they've played 8 games, and 4 of them have been Arsenal, City, Liverpool, and Chelsea.
Yeah. And like you said about those 4, you'd write them off straight away. Like, if we get 2 points from those games, we're over the moon. And Yeah, no, it's just another poor side. Palace 1 win in 5, 1 win in 5 games.
I think I've all the clubs we mentioned pretty much. They're another club that they ain't going down. They're too good to go down.
No, you say that, and I know it's ridiculous. Only 8-9 games in, but it's like we're saying. Any of these teams could be in the fight, or they are in the fight, and any point is so valuable.
But then you just look at the clubs. Palace are directly around the 4 of them. Above them, Leeds, Villa, and Southampton. You'd have Palace way above any of them 3.
Yeah, you'd think they're better sides, and especially what's happening. Villa next side again, 1 win in 5 games. Steven Gerrard and that the game last night. Wow, what a load of rubbish that is.
Absolute
what
dross.
a load of rubbish.
Not being funny when you've got Ashley Young still playing. He's like 36, 37, and I think he scored a cracking goal to be fair to him, but it just gives you no enthusiasm. And when you've got it's the typical Arsenal used to do it, and Spurs probably done the same. When you've got these mercenaries playing for you like Coutinho.
Yeah.
Coutinho does not want to play for Aston Villa.
No.
He's only playing for you because you're paying him
ridiculous amount of
6
money,
figures a week, and no one else would.
And he gets dragged off yesterday because he's basically cropped and can't run. And I said that was going to happen with him when he come from Barcelona, but. Yeah, just you just think like, what are these teams actually trying to achieve here? Like, and we'll get on to Forest, but I think it's quite a good thing what they did with Steve Cooper and give him a new contract. That's probably the only positive thing you can talk about any of these sides is that that's what Forest have done. And it's just
going from new contract to your mate. I think you want to have a few words with him, old Ralph Hassel.
the fraud.
I'm looking at it right here, mate.
Mess.
They've lost 5 of their last 6, 4 in a trot.
Yeah, 4 in a row.
They got
4 in a row.
They got Arsenal in 2 weeks.
Just Southampton, and they'll probably play us, or when they play us, when we go to Southampton, probably a really tough game, like I said. But they're just another poor club with no ambition. Hasselhoff's been there, proved that he's not.
He should have been sacked a long time ago.
Proved that he's not of any level. It's just another shocking.
They could be one. I think could potentially go down, could slip in.
Yeah, they're definitely in the fight, and all these teams, they've just got to take points off each other. But some of the games when they play each other is just awful to watch, isn't it?
And we're going to a team I didn't think would be anywhere near this position, but they are Wolves. I mean, they had a shocking end to last season, but this season not been great.
3 goals.
1 win this season so far. Wow! Again, in 9 games, 3 goals scored.
Yeah.
Like they were saying on Sky that Arsenal would be the team you'd want to get a season ticket for. I could tell you Wolves are the team you'd at least want to go what a season ticket for. Wow, it's just.
And like Chelsea, they're passing around, they play some nice stuff, but just they got nothing going forward. No, you don't have Wolves and think, we're gonna struggle. We might concede, but shocking.
And with Neto being out to after the World Cup, he's probably their best player.
And Costa coming in, he's 33, 34 years old.
Yeah, that's what apparently he is, but he's
who knows? Yeah, exactly.
Who knows how old he is?
Yeah, and then Forest just got the win. Draw last night, took them off the foot of the table, didn't
They replaced Leicester.
I mean, and then
Leicester.
Forest again, just another. That game last night was just embarrassing to watch, just awful. But Forest, yes, they've backed Steve Cooper, but in the summer they've signed just a total array of players, all ages, all abilities, all positions, and they expect Steve Cooper to go right first year in the Premier League, go sort us out. It's just. I think if you're a Forest fan, you'd be gutted. You'd be absolutely gutted.
Because it's funny, like I said, they've backed Steve Cooper with a contract, but you could argue they haven't backed him in the market. I know they've signed 35, 40 players, whatever they signed. So it's ridiculous. How many of them players does he actually want?
Yeah.
Like I said, imagine like the championship, winning the well, they come playoffs, weren't they?
Playoffs, through the playoffs.
All them players, hardly any of them are up there.
No, they changed the whole side really. They've got a couple, obviously, but there's been no trust, no faith being put in any of those players, and they've got, and we'll talk about it, but it's just so annoying to see. Like they do it all the time, those sort of clubs. But Forest, they've got Steve Cook at the back. Why have they got Steve Cook centre half?
They signed him from Bournemouth last year.
Because what? Because he's played a few times in the Premier, he's got experience and all that. Like, please, stop doing that. Bought Aurier. Why have they bought Aurier?
But it's the same as Fulham. It's on that left back from PSG. Carl Wing-Kangzanga, whatever his name.
Carl's a whatever.
Yeah, it's just these idiots who just want money.
Yeah.
Rubbish at football.
Yeah.
Obviously they're very good, but they're just rubbish at Premier League standards.
They're just not fussed. And the same with Aurier. Like I think I said the other day, but he's not going to Forest going, yes, I'm going to keep Forest. I want to play really well. He's getting a paycheck. He doesn't care if Forest finish 20th or they finish 9th. That's totally irrelevant to the man. And the same with Lingard. It's all these players they've got. It's just
Yeah, Lingard sums them up into a nutshell. He's just
and that was their first sort of marquee, big moment, and they've just throughout the summer just they just went out of control, didn't they, and bought all sorts. So,
Mm.
and then Leicester bring up the rear.
Leicester, I think you said Leicester were going to have a good season, didn't you?
No, that was my.
I was joking, yeah.
That was my other nap. Was Leicester. I didn't think they'd be right at the bottom going into what we're the 10th game week, but yeah, I didn't think they'd have a good season at all. Bottom half was my prediction, but yeah, 1 win, 1 draw, 7 losses.
And
the only thing with Leicester, is they've scored 15 goals, and that is the most out of all those sort of
up
dross.
till
There was
Brentford
have scored a few, but yeah, Leicester, that's 15. That's more than Chelsea, scored more than United, and scored more than Brighton. But obviously they're leaking goals, so yeah, they're just in a total mess, aren't they? Rodgers got a total basket case there.
And this new defender they've signed looks like a you're going to use the FIFA term, excuse me, but the David Luiz regen.
Oh yeah, the weird.
He even runs like him as well.
Yeah.
The goal, I think it was Billings' goal. He was chasing after him. I thought literally it's just a carbon copy of David Luiz here.
Yeah, it's weird, wasn't it, Leicester? It's
Leicester seem to have lost their identity as a club.
Don't know what is going on. Obviously, no confidence and no faith in what they're doing. But
losing Schmeichel was a strange one. It came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And then the defence is just like, where is all the defenders gone?
Yeah.
And obviously, I know they've lost Fofana.
Yeah, they must have.
But Evans seems to be out there on his own. Soyuncu seems to have fallen right out of favour.
And they've got, is it Vestergaard, the one who's at South? They don't even play him. He doesn't even get in squads. He's obviously Rodgers don't like him at all. But sure, he was at Southampton. He was okay, like a big, tall, strong centre half. But yeah, he's not involved at all, like you said. And yeah, they've got seems like they've got 2 or 3 players at the back every week. It's just.
I mean,
ridiculous.
Vardy must be 40 now. But
yeah, and relying on him is it's bad.
The only one who's playing well is Maddison.
Yeah.
Who I've read this morning, not him, but Newcastle were going to go back in for him in January.
Really?
Which they if they had got him, he's like a real upgrade to what they've got, and he then pushes Newcastle to another level, maybe from a 9th to a 6th, something like that, 9th to a 7th,
And he might improve the likes of Bruno and players around him because they're thinking, right, Madison's coming, I've got to step my game. And himself, if he went there, he's thinking, right, I'm at a good club, I've got to play well, and you could see a far better Maddison.
Yeah.
And same with if Tielemans moved on. Not really seen it with Fofana yet, but
well, he's out for a while, Fofana.
Yeah, he's had a shocker, hasn't he? But yeah, Leicester right down there. Don't know what is going on. I'm sure Rodgers is racking his brain, but
if I could give you, I'm not going to give you it, but if I could give you a free hit of your 3 that you change, if you 3 you said, and you could give you 1 free hit to change, who would you change?
Ooh, I'd probably take Fulham out. I'd keep Leeds and Bournemouth, and
replace for Forest?
I would. Yeah, I think Forest are down. I think they're one of the certs.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about yourself? Would you change anything?
I'd replace Bournemouth. Don't know. I don't know. I put Bournemouth, Forest, and Leeds. I want Leeds to go down, so I'm going to continue Leeds.
I'd love Leeds. Be so good.
Bournemouth, I don't know.
The Americans.
If I had to change one, I would change Bournemouth for
West Ham.
No, it would be actually Leicester or Wolves.
Yeah. The current bottom 3, I would not be disappointed at all. And
for me, it looks like a big team. It's like quite unquote big team could go down.
Well, Leicester won the league, and it's like when Blackburn went down. But yes, if it was my 3 to go down, then it'd be very different. But who I actually think will go down, I'd swap out Fulham, like I said, and keep Forest in there. But I was going to say something. Sorry. The Americans. Sorry, Leeds. And the Americans, if they got relegated, they'd be like, "What? Relegation? What's that? We don't do relegation.
We don't do that in the MLS.
We don't do that over there in America.
We're franchises."
Yeah, Jesse Marsh should still rock up at the Premier League press conference talking about their next game. So I'd love to see Leeds go down.
Bloody hell! Right, well, if they lose against Arsenal, then
who knows?
They're on there. They'll be. Well,
they can win one game this week, and then the rest they can lose. That's fine.
So moving on from teams that haven't done very well to players that have got into our team of the week. Right. I'll start this off. I wanted to make a special mention actually for this player.
Yeah, this was as you're going to say, this is your little sort of moment, I think. So yeah, let you take the floor.
I'll take the floor of this one. Goalkeeper this week. So I've crucified this man for many many reasons, and validly so, because he's been absolutely shambolic since he signed for this club. He is the world's most expensive goalkeeper. Kepa Azpilicueta, or Azpilicueta, however you pronounce it. Kepa. Quietly, though, Mendy obviously got that brutal injury against West Ham when Bowen absolutely mullered him, apparently. He hasn't played since.
Still injured.
He's still injured. Well, this is the thing. He's been injured for 2 games, and he's actually been on the bench the last 2 games, Mendy now. So, fair play to Potter. He's come in. Keeper's got 2 clean sheets, no shot. He's playing again tonight, I believe, isn't he?
Yeah, I think it's Kepa.
We'll wait till it comes round, or soon a bit. But I think he's playing again tonight. He's played the last 2 games, 2 clean sheets against AC Milan and Wolves.
Yeah, Kepa's in tonight. No Mendy.
He's just slowly gone about his job, and fair play to the bloke, because
like I said, Kepa came in originally, didn't he, as a number 1. Then he got sort of pushed that away from Mendy, and now he's back in again. So yeah, and I don't think at the weekend he was outrageous, wasn't?
No, I just thought it'd be a nice little
clean
shout
sheet.
for him.
He's doing all right, isn't he?
I know he listens to the pod, so
yeah, I'm sure he's really happy when he's on his flight back to West London after tonight's game. Yeah.
Well, again, his clean sheet tonight probably he's going to get, because AC Milan are dross.
Yeah, so Kepa in goal. First, I'll take the next one. First,
you take the defence.
Yeah, so we've picked Cancelo and Ryan Sessegnon for the sort of back 2, if you like. I think I haven't really spoke about Spurs game, but Sessegnon got man of match in the game itself. Clean sheet away from home. Came in. He plays he gets chops and change with Perisic. Doesn't consistently play, and I just think it was a pretty solid game. Didn't do anything absolutely brilliant. Didn't do anything terrible. Just a solid game, and what we would like to see really from.
He won man of the match, though, didn't he?
Yeah, they gave him man of the match that
Sky
day.
did,
he was good. It was just a nice, solid performance. Cancelo, can't really argue that, can you? 4-0.
What a goal!
Yeah, really joke, absolute joke.
I mean, the bloke plays left back, but does he really he can play?
He's a right back,
and
he's the best left back in the world. So yeah, he's ridiculous.
He's a joke. I think
he
got an assist for Haaland's goal as well. Just whipped it with his left foot, even though he's right. He just
he's brilliant. And you sort of think, left back, like full backs are, yes, they're important, but that can't really influence the game. But Cancelo's shown you that he is as important, if not more important, than what some of the other City players like Haaland or whoever, Foden and such like. So brilliant player.
So midfield, we had Bruno Guimaraes, who got 2 goals for Newcastle, and Gabriel Martinelli, midfield attack, whatever.
Yeah, can't really argue that.
Bruno very well for Newcastle, and funny enough, I didn't actually see the exact stats they were doing, but Sky did a little thing on Bruno. Apparently, he's the best number 8 this season, or for these stats, whatever. But he's obviously very impressive. He's a very good player, Brazil international, and that's going to be the caliber of players Newcastle are going to be playing.
And he was sort of an unknown when I'm sure clubs are aware, but to the general public, he's sort of an unknown. Yeah, he's a bit of an unknown and almost a bit of a risk. And he's obviously turning out quite well, and I think he's becoming a fan favourite up in Newcastle. Yeah,
and then Gabriel Martinelli got a few things in him. I just thought he was... Saka may be unlikely to not get in, but he was absolutely outstanding. His energy levels is just a
for
joke.
90 minutes well.
Presses non-stop. Yeah. And my most impressive thing was Liverpool hooked their whole entire right side for him. But Trent came off. Then they had to replace him with Gomez, who was more shored up. Then they had to take off Matip because he was getting roasted. Then they took off Salah and stuck Henderson right wing just to track him.
Yeah.
For the last 20 minutes,
just to stop
Henderson was just chasing shadows for him. And he got a goal and assist, Martinelli, and he was just, this season, he's just real upped it, and I had to put him in. I said, literally, as soon as I came out the ground, first I texted you, I was like, I don't care, whatever happens, he's going in.
No, he was good. And like on another day, Saka would probably get mentioned, but Martinelli performed very well. Very well.
And then for the striker,
the fans
vote. We put between CR700 and, do you want to say his name?
Gianluca Scamacca.
So that was the fans' vote. I do think our fan base for the La Glorias is
heavily West Ham.
Ham.
It must be. Yeah, I'd love to know the percentage, but
I personally voted for CR7.
I might vote definitely went for Ronaldo as well, but yeah.
And I think we're the
Scamacca
only two because Skamaka won it by an
got the
absolute
nod.
landslide. But no, fair play.
Yeah. And he definitely sent it to all his family and friends. Please vote, please vote.
But no, he's got 2-2 now.
And he scored in Europe as well.
Europe, I
didn't
think West Ham look a far better team with him up front as a figurehead rather than Antonio. But
so you said it that week, didn't you? But just got to give him a go. And
we've signed him for a
Antonio's
reason.
off the bench now, like he's done his job. Just give Scamacca a go.
Yeah. And yeah, just to recap the team, Kepa, Cancelo, Sessegnon, Grimares, Martinelli and Scamacca. Probably almost all-round team for the first time in a while.
Yeah.
We've been struggling for defenders.
Looks like a good side.
We've actually just been playing the whole midfield recently. Right, shall we move on to the winner-loser of the week?
Yeah, let's go for it. Do you want to start us off?
I'll start with my winner.
Go on then.
My winner is, drum roll, Phil Jagielka.
Oh, that is not a name I thought I'd ever hear in the bunker.
So Phil Jagielka became the oldest player to score in the Championship since Kevin Phillips in 2014 at 40 years and 52 days.
Bloody hell.
So he now plays for Stoke and he scored against Sheffield United, who are his team.
Boyhood club.
Club.
Is he still centre half or is he fucking in goal or something?
Or sweeper. Well, he used to be. He was like a goalkeeper, didn't he?
He did like it goal, didn't he?
What's his name? Warlock never used to pick a goalkeeper on the bench because he had him.
Because they had Big Phil.
And once actually there was a story. Arsenal played Sheffield United. I think it was 2006. And Paddy Kenny came off injured in the 70th.
Jagielka went in goal, didn't he?
Jagielka went in goal and kept a clean sheet against Henry, Van Persie, Adebayor.
That has got to be
Fabregas.
He was great.
But that was just that was prime Arsenal banter era. Just Jagielka clean
brilliant.
sheet.
Is Jagielka? What is he now? Is he fully a player? Or is he a coach? Or
Fully a player still.
What the
At Stoke, yeah.
That is incredible.
Centre half. What means because he scored against Sheffield United, which is a nice little thing for him.
Yeah.
He's now scored in Sheffield United matches because that's obviously in his teens, his 20s, his 30s, and his 40s.
That is quality. Did he celebrate or not?
I don't know.
Did he show some respect? 40 years old. That is incredible.
40 years old and 50 days. I hope he did a knee slide.
yeah. Took his top off. And in arguably the toughest league in the world.
Yeah, exactly.
As well.
Yeah.
He's 40 years old, still doing bits in the Championship.
Yeah,
I like it.
to Phil Jagielka.
Does he play or was that
yeah,
like
he
a one-off?
plays. He plays quite
Was
a
he
lot.
thrown on at the end like a curveball?
No, he starts. He starts most games. I mean, Stoke are dire now, but
Yeah,
he
yeah.
plays.
I like it. My winner, I've gone for. You actually sent me a video. I saw it myself, but yeah, Paul Smith from Leyton Orient. He's a midfielder. I think he plays on the left. Might sort of support the striker, but scored overhead kick. Put them 1-0 up. They went on to draw the game, sadly 1-0. But they drew 1-0 and he scored an overhead kick, and I think it was penalty spot maybe. Just
What an overhead kick as well.
What a joke! Yeah, I saw an interview. He spoke about it after. He said, "Yeah, I took a terrible touch, but I just thought, sod it, I'm going for the overhead kick," and it came off.
As you do.
What a finish! Just really acrobatic. Smashed it home. He's right for winner of the week for Paul Smith from Leyton Orient.
Wonderful goal, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was good. Very good.
So loser of the week, I had two. I'm gonna quickly skate over one I had, my original one, because I've got a more in-depth one. But it was Rio. I don't know how you pronounce it. Rio Ave goalkeeper versus Benfica. I don't know if you saw the.
I've not seen this.
He basically had a back pass, which his first touch has taken him into the goal. It's horrific. I'll send you the link later. I wish we could show it on the video, but that's why I didn't. It was horrific at first, but I wrote that was my first note. But my actual loser of the week, it's annoying that he has just scored, is Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang.
Yeah, I'm interested to know.
So, I don't know if you saw the video that's been circling around online.
Yeah, well, he's in a hotel.
He's in a jeweller's in Barcelona just after he'd left Arsenal, slagging off my man, Big Mikel. And he was saying, Mikel can't handle big players and big characters. He can't deal with it. All he needs is some young players who don't say anything and do what he says. And it just screams like
got under your skin, didn't it?
No, but it's just what are you talking about, mate?
Yeah,
you're a big. What is a big player and a big character? Does that mean he has to put up with you because you're late to training?
Yeah.
You put no effort in the games. You don't track back. You don't press.
It's just the
he has to put up with you because you're
Aubameyang,
because you're Aubameyang, or because you've got your Ferraris and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's like there was another thing came out earlier about Arsenal since Arteta's been in charge. It's called 54 goals and players under 21s. No, these young players are good. Martinelli, Saka might go on to have better careers than you. Like,
yeah.
I mean, obviously Aubameyang's been a fantastic player, and I don't.
He just screams of a petulant child.
He just grew up.
His nose been put out of place by Arteta. He's been shoved off, and he's like you said, like, oh, Aubameyang, how can you do that? But he's gone off to another team, another country, and it's exactly what that video was. Just a little moaning child talking a load of rubbish behind someone's back.
When Ozil left and when Guendouzi left, they Arteta, right now, he's been there through 3 years now. He knows a wanker when he sees one.
Yeah.
Like, he'll give you a little bit of a chance, but as soon as you piss him off, you won't plan for him anymore.
Like, on paper, yes, Aubameyang scores lots of goals. He has played at some of the top European clubs and done it in most leagues, but like Arteta's probably been through it, seen a lot more than what we'll ever know. And
it's not just Arteta. Like, look at Man City and look at Liverpool, for example, the two best teams the last 5 years. Do they have any big players and big characters that the banners just gone out? No, because they all abide by the rules.
City, City get rid of them if they want to go right. See, you're done.
Yeah, look at Liverpool's front three, for example. Salah, Firmino, and Mane for the last 5 years.
Yeah.
They've all been pressing merchants. They all track back. They all run. I know Salah's probably been a bit lazy the last 12 months, but them two, up and down the whole time. The big character, big players. It just screams, grow up, mate.
Yeah, He's exactly what I said. Like, he's been found out, and he's got the and he wants to have a little moan about it. And
it's not Arteta's fault.
And for some reason, some idiot is recording it, and the whole world now knows. Like,
and he did some silly tweet yesterday about how he was a bit angry at the time, and he wishes the club all the best, apart from November the 9th. Grow up.
Just stop. Yeah, just stop. But he's just slotted one home for Chelsea. But no, good one. My loser of the week. I had one. I'm not going to even talk about it. I said I was going to go on about VAR refereeing in England, but I can't be bothered, to be honest. It's just too much. Just winds you up too much. So I've quickly changed it in my mind, just sitting here, and I'm going to go for, from last week's Champions League fixtures, the Marseille were at home to Sporting Lisbon, sorry. And it was an empty ground because of what Marseille and Frankfurt had done the week before. There was like maybe 100, 150 Sporting fans there. And I'm going to go for the Sporting Lisbon goalkeeper because I don't know if you saw it, Tate, or anyone that's listening has seen it, but so they were 1-0 up within the first minute. They were on top. It looked like a great start, whatever. The goalies then got involved. He's basically give them the first goal, boots it off Sanchez. Alexis Sanchez deflected straight in the goal. Second goal, he's like tried to clip it over his own back four into his fullback or whatever it was. Go straight to them, like literally might as well kicked it along the floor. Go, yep, there you go, Marseille have another goal. So yep, 2-1 now to Marseille. And then the ball gets played forward. This is all within like 15-20 minutes. The ball then gets played through. Keeper comes charging out, blatantly stops it with his hand, gets sent off. So the goalie, I don't know if he must be match fixing or he must have lots and lots of money on them to lose. And he gets sent off within 20-25 minutes. The game's done. So yeah, I can't remember his name.
We watched it here, didn't we?
Sorry, of course we watched it here last week. And yeah, that bloke, whoever he is, he's the loser of the week by far.
Absolute shocker, wasn't it?
Yeah, terrible week for that goalie.
Right, before we end things, we'll finalise on the trivia question.
Yeah, your teaser.
So, Ronaldo scored his 700th club goal at the weekend, but which team has he scored the most goals against? 2 points up for stake here. Up for grabs. The team and the amount of goals.
Okay. All right. Well, I like you were going through some. I don't necessarily know. I'm gonna say I don't know it for definite, but I've sort of in my back of my mind I went through some stats earlier, I went through some information, whatever, and I came across one, and in my head, for some reason, I've got a Spanish side. It's a Spanish side?
Yes.
And my guess, and one and only guess, I can't because I go through them all. It's not fair, but my one and only guess is Seville.
Correct.
Is it?
Yeah.
Guess in.
Yeah.
Yes.
Come on, C.
Have that, Harry. Have that.
C. That's Mike.
C. Yes. Get in.
Have that, Harry.
Oh. Harry, have that.
Shirt off.
Oh, scenes.
Right.
Get in.
For one more point. Come on.
How many goals?
How many goals?
I 20. Oh, I'm gonna be one out, I reckon. I'm gonna go 22. Is it more? It's more, isn't it?
It's more.
Oh,
It's more. 27.
Oh,
25 league goals
yeah.
and 2
in
cup.
the cup. Oh, I didn't necessarily go and look for this stat, but I saw something like Seville. I had all the Spanish clubs, and I don't know. It was for me. It was either Seville or Espanyol for some reason, but yeah, love it. Get in.
Well done, mate. Well done.
Get in there.
Was it 10 episodes of trivia? 10 episodes. We got one in the end.
We're back on form now. Come on, boys. Yeah.
Right, that pretty
Cheers,
much. That's a
Dan.
lovely ending to the pod.
Yeah.
And yeah, well.
Yeah, well, episode 13 is done.
Yeah, and thank you for everyone who has left a comment on the Apple
Yeah.
podcast. We are slowly but surely putting videos on YouTube. It
Yeah.
does take a while, so
It's quite hard.
bear with us.
And if, that might be you prefer listening or watching whatever on that.
Yeah,
so that's
we're-
absolutely fine.
We're
So
just
it's all
putting our backlog on there just so you can like, subscribe,
Yeah.
comment on them. It's just nice to hear feedback from
Yeah.
old episodes or whatever. Yeah, and if you can continue to still comment on Apple Music, give us 5 stars or whatever.
And yeah, like we
Much
said,
appreciated.
keep talking to us about it. We love talking about football. We love talking about the podcast and people saying things to improve on or bad, good things, whatever it is. So yeah, and keep sharing it, keep talking to people about it, talk to us about it, and yeah, we're really enjoying it. So thank you everyone that's listening.
Yeah, all right. And we'll be back next week.
Exactly, lots of football to talk about. So episode 14 is incoming.
Stay loyal.